Okay, NFL Week 5 predictions. Recording this after the Week 4 morning game, so I don't know all the results yet. So the first game, we got the Jaguars versus the Titans. The Jaguars looked good against the Bengals and was up 14 to nothing, and they were looking good. The Titans, they did not look great versus the Jets. Their defense, I thought, was going to be better than that, but currently they're in overtime. And this one's definitely a trap game for the Titans. But Titans, I still believe that being a divisional game, they're more experienced in Derrick Henry, so I have the Titans winning. Steelers versus the Broncos. Broncos are gonna play the Ravens, and Steelers are gonna play the Packers. These teams both defensive. This could be a very ugly game. I'm not sure if the Broncos. I believe they're frauds at 3-0. And the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger has not played well, and a good defense like the Broncos may make Roethlisberger struggle. So I have the Broncos winning. Then you have the Texans versus the Patriots. Texans lost 40 to nothing against the Bills. Patriots play on Sunday Night Football. They may probably lose against the Buccaneers still. Patriots are a more talented team than Texans, and Texans lost really bad to the Bills, so I have the Patriots winning. Then you have the Browns versus the Chargers. Browns were, were in a tight game with the Minnesota Vikings. Their offense didn't look the best, but their defense did. This one's going to be a tight game, but I have the Chargers winning because of their home field advantage. Then you got the Chiefs versus the Bills. Chiefs defense still needs some work. Bills just shut out the Texans 40 to nothing. The Chiefs did win, but their defense really needs some help. And this is the rematch of the AFC Championship. And I still have the Chiefs winning though. Then you have the Ravens versus the Colts. Colts beat the Dolphins, but they still didn't look great in the first half. The Ravens, they're gonna play against the Broncos in the afternoon, and this one, Colts may play decent and make the game tight against the Ravens, but the Colts, they're just too injured right now, so I have the Ravens winning. Then got the Falcons versus Jets. Falcons, a really close game versus Washington football team. The Jets, another really close game against the Titans. These two teams are coming off good games, and this one may be close. I have the Falcons winning eventually. And the Bengals versus the Packers. Bengals, good game versus the Jaguars. The Packers are going to play the Steelers. And I still think the Packers offense is too explosive for that Bengals defense, which has impressed so far in this season. So I have the Packers winning. Then you got the Buccaneers versus Dolphins. Dolphins, again, their offense looked terrible versus the Colts. Buccaneers, they have looked good so far. They seem to have dropped off from that Super Bowl team, but they still look good and a good playoff contender. So I have the Buccaneers winning. The Raiders versus Bears. Bears did win versus the Lions, but they aren't the best team right now. And the Raiders, the 3-0 surprised a lot of people, so I have the Raiders eventually winning. And they have home field advantage as well. And then you have Seattle versus the Rams. I think this is a bad matchup for the Seahawks. The Rams can rush the passer really well, and Seahawks line isn't the best, and the Seahawks defense will not be able to stop the Rams and all their weapons. So I have the Rams winning. But the football team versus Saints. Football team's defense has really disappointed. Let up 30 versus the Falcons and barely won. Saints, Jameis Winston didn't look great, but he wasn't terrible. But they still lost to the Giants. Their defense, Daniel Jones managed to just throw to that defense, and neither of these teams are looking great heading into week 5. Saints are super inconsistent, and the football team's defense has really disappointed. In the end, I have the football team winning. Then you have the Panthers versus Eagles, both coming off a loss. Eagles looked good against the Chiefs early on, and they scored on the Chiefs' defense. The Panthers, they made the Dallas game a tiny bit closer, but they let the third quarter Dallas score too much, and their defense looked good through the first 3 weeks, but then Dallas managed to tear through that Panthers defense. And this one may be sneaky good. I'd say Eagles performed better than I thought before the season, and Panthers, I thought I had them starting off 3-0 with my Panthers prediction, so I really like them, and I have the Panthers winning. Vikings versus the Lions, a very defensive game against the Browns, and they ended up losing just 14-7. The Lions never really got into it against the Bears. They fell down early, and they tried to come back but couldn't. And the Lions, Justin Field played much better, but the Bears aren't the greatest team right now, and the Vikings have lost some really close games, so I have the Vikings winning. Cardinals versus 49ers. Currently, the Cardinals are looking good against the Rams, and the 49ers are ahead against the Seahawks. And Cardinals have looked good. I thought they were frauds before the season, but they've proved me wrong so far. And the Cardinals have looked really good. So I have the Cardinals winning. Cowboys versus the Giants. Cowboys usually do good against the Giants. I see the Giants defense is disappointed so far. Daniel Jones has looked good, very good so far, especially with the deep passing. Um, the Cowboys offense for me is just too explosive for that Giants defense, so I have the Cowboys winning. And these are my Week 5 NFL predictions.